Hi, I'm Vidushi Sharma, and I'm going to be talking about the power of villains, the morally complex antagonists. So, what truly makes a villain a villain? Have you ever watched a movie where the villain outshines the hero? The kind of villain who, despite being wrong, you just can't bring yourself to hate. I remember coming across a Tumblr post that said, a few trees were cut down to put up a billboard that says, Save trees. And then someone commented, Thanos was right. That one line stuck with me because it hit me this world is not as black and white as we'd like it to be. We try to separate people into good and evil, heroes and villains, rights and wrongs, but the truth is, reality exists in shades of grey. Unlike many power hungry villains, Thanos wasn't after personal gain. He genuinely believed he was saving the universe by eliminating half of all life. He even sacrificed the one person he loved the most, his own daughter, for what he thought was the greater good. He didn't spare himself from the suffering either. His methods were horrific, but his intentions, they came from a place of conviction. And then we have Voldemort, one of the most feared villains in fiction. But when you look past the darkness and the destruction, you see a lonely boy raised without love, shaped by rejection, manipulated by the world around him. Was he born evil, or did the world create him that way? Closer to home in Bollywood, Ritesh Deshmukh's character in Ek Villain is another example. He killed innocent women, yes, but his deep desire was to be loved and respected by his wife. His pain manifested into something monstrous, but at its root, it was pain nonetheless. And how can we forget Severus Snape? He wasn't our favorite teacher. He was bitter, cruel at times, and hard to like. But wasn't he also just a man who loved so deeply, so painfully, that it defined his entire existence? He was rejected, betrayed, and left alone in a world that never truly understood him. He was bullied. Now let's step away from fictional villains for a moment. Let's talk about us. If we take an honest look at ourselves, we'll realize that so many of our fears, insecurities, traumas have shaped us. Childhood wounds, rejection, anger, these just don't disappear. They leave scars, and sometimes these scars emerge in ways we don't even recognize. We all have red flags, we all have moments where we act out of pain rather than logic, where we make choices that hurt others even if we don't mean to. We are all, in some ways, both the hero and the villain in someone's story. Shakespeare said it best, all the world's a stage, and on the stage, no one is entirely good or entirely evil. We all are just playing our parts shaped by the circumstances we've lived through. So, the complex and morally complex grey characters that I was talking about all this long, I was talking about just us. We are also sometimes morally grey and sometimes too white and sometimes too black, but in our minds, we are always right. In our minds, all our actions are always justified. In our minds, maybe our actions were wrong, but the intentions were never. So, how can we say that there are villains and there are good people if the intention was always correct? There is always going to be these situations where we would come off as the wrong person and we would be very defensive in those situations and we'd not like to think of ourselves as a villain, but we just can't shape that reality of others or of ourselves. So it was us that I was talking about. We are the morally complex characters, we are the morally complex villains, and we are the morally complex heroes as well. So it's just our part that we're playing, and it's just us who need to understand that how to control and how to regulate these emotions. That's all. Thank you.